History remembers what happened, but it is shaped by moments when everything could have turned another way. A decision, a journey, a single moment. This is where we explore them. When history turned. In our world, fireworks are for festivals and gun salutes for ceremonies. Is there a reality where those flashes are just part of everyday life?
In a coastal city called Liang, a commuter named Mei steps off a morning ferry. The pier smells of salt and coal. Beyond the warehouses, a foundry bell rings to mark the shift. The building is not hidden, its name is stamped on the gate. Liang Maritime Foundry. Mei walks past lanterns that double as small mortar mounts on festival nights. The streetlights are maintained by guilds that used to be called powder rights. Her school timetable lists ballistics alongside arithmetic. A merchant freighter at the quay carries a line of cast iron barrels labeled as cargo, not contraband. Kai, at the docks. Customs papers show licenses issued long ago. The local market sells both gunpowder for fishing buoys and novelty rockets for children. The presence of gun foundries is ordinary. What is unusual, from our vantage, is how integrated these technologies are in civilian life, municipal engineering, and merchant fleets.
Elias, who controls these foundries in that world? Elias, are they arms makers under state monopoly, or independent merchants? Does the technology travel beyond the coast? Do rulers use it differently than we do? And crucially, at what moment did that pattern diverge from our history? When did the path split?
Kai. In that timeline, the craft of casting gun barrels becomes standardized and routinized earlier. Not secluded in secret workshops, but organized as licensed maritime industry. The standard appears in port registries as early as the 12th century. Foundry masters travel with caravans and fleets rather than remain cloistered in court arsenals. Kai. By the 14th century, merchant convoys sail with integrated gun decks. Seawalls and harbor defenses are designed for cannon exchange. Power in the sea lanes looks less like a European monopoly and more like a network of armed ports. Tell me, Elias, which institutional decision would change whether gun foundry knowledge is guarded or traded?
Elias, the decisive turn occurs in the 12th century. In that line, the southern chord of the song makes a deliberate policy choice. Instead of restricting metallurgy and powdercraft to imperial arsenals, the court invests in maritime outreach, exports mastercasters, and issues licenses to allied port cities across the Indian Ocean. State ships carry technicians to Hormuz, to the Malabar coast, to the Straits of Sunda. Those masters set up foundries, teach standard casting methods, and sell shipboard gun mount designs as commercial products. That export is institutionalized, not an accident but policy. In our timeline, similar knowledge spreads unevenly, and often through conquest and espionage. Here, it is exported like silk.
Kai. So the change is structural. Gunpowder and casting move from guarded military secrets to licensed traded technology in the 12th century, embedded in maritime commerce. Kai. From the 12th to the 14th centuries, those licensed foundries transform naval architecture across the Indian Ocean. Armed junks and heavily gunned doughs become common, giving regional maritime polities a capacity to deter predatory coastal raids and protect long-distance convoys. Port networks are militarized in a distributed way.
Elias, in our reality, the same centuries see powder spreading along land routes and through steppe networks. Siege artillery appears in land warfare, and, over time, in coastal defenses. Diffusion is patchy, which allows fragmented European states to iterate rapidly on cannon design, and later, adapt it to ocean-going ships. That asymmetry feeds the later pattern of overseas expansion.
Kai, in the 15th to the 17th centuries of the alternate timeline, European coastal enclaves encounter well-armed regional navies. European traders find fortified harbors and gun-armed merchant convoys, which requires different strategies: negotiated port access, local alliances, or technological parity, rather than simple conquest.
Elias. By contrast, in our 15th to 17th centuries, European polities scale up shipborne artillery and create blue water navies that, combined with navigational improvements, allow them to establish fortified trading posts and later territorial colonies. Gunpowder and shipbuilding co-evolve in Europe into an instrument of empire.
Kai. In the alternate 18th and 19th centuries, industrialization includes state-sponsored foundries in Asia. Metallurgy scales under bureaucratic oversight, and trade networks sustain cross-regional standards. Technological innovation diffuses among multiple maritime centers. The balance of naval power is more multipolar.
In our 18th and 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution concentrates manufacturing scale in European workshops, amplifying their military and economic reach. That concentration, combined with existing colonial footholds, accelerates imperial expansion.
Kai. In the 20th to the 21st centuries of the alternate line, global institutions and borders form under a multipolar set of maritime powers. Colonial maps look different. Some states that were colonies in our world remain independent earlier, and naval doctrine emphasizes cooperative security among coastal federations. Civilian life includes routine technologies derived from widespread powdercraft municipal engineering. Fireworks integrated into urban signaling systems. Certain kinds of civil demolitions regulated by guilds.
Elias. Answering the first, simple question, yes. In that world, fireworks can feel ordinary because the social meaning of gunpowder changed when it was treated as shared maritime technology rather than a jealously guarded court secret. The deeper lesson is about contingency, a single institutional choice about export and licensing in the 12th century changes who controls force, who industrializes first, and how trade networks shape political power for centuries. The everyday is the long echo of that choice.
The divergence is not a miracle of invention, but an administrative decision to export craft and create durable trade in weapons technology. And that choice reshapes centuries of warfare, statecraft, and daily life. If this wasn't the only timeline you'd like to visit, subscribe.